everyone, this is Dr. Namika, faculty at Galgodia College of Engineering and Technology. Today we will study the electric potential. It's in unit 2, and previous lecture we have seen electric field intensity and forces. We have seen Gauss law, application of Gauss law, Coulomb's law, application of Coulomb's law. In this lecture we will see the electric potential. So basically in electrostat we have seen electric field, force. If any in electrostat we study about charge in rest, charge at rest, or we can say that in electrostat we study about the static charge. Electric field can be generated either by the presence of electric charge or by a varying magnetic field. In these two ways we can find the value of field intensity. Suppose if there will be a charge placed at this point, then in surrounding there will be electric field. Now if any other charge will come in this surrounding, in this region, then what will happen? Due to this electric field, if this is a Q1 and if some other charge Q2 will come here, then this Q2 will experience a force. You know that there is an analogy between electrostat and mechanics, that whenever there is a body in surrounding, you will experience gravity, which leads to gravitational force. Similarly, if there will be a charge placed at any place in surrounding, we will feel electric field, and if any other charge will come in that region, then that charge will experience a force that is equal to Q2. As for example, electric field is generated due to Q1 and Q2 came from outside, then this Q2 will find some experience of force that is equal to Q2E. Well, now due to this force, this Q2 will get displaced with a distance d. If this force will be applied on this Q2, then it will displaced by d. You know that work done is equal to force multiplied by distance. So total work done to move this Q2 charge from this place to this place will be equal to F dot d. This is known as work done. This work done is alternatively known as the total change in potential energy. Now this potential is nothing but the total potential energy per unit charge is known as potential. So it will be, finally we can write, according to Coulomb's law, we can write F as Q1 Q2 by R square, and d is also a distance only, we can write it as a R. So here we will write R. This R and R will cancel out, and finally we will get the value of energy or work done as Q1 Q2 by R. Apart from this, we know that F is equal to KQ by K Q1 Q2 by R square. Similarly, the energy or work done will be equal to energy or work done will be equal to K Q1 Q2 by R. So if in mathematical expression we can write force as F is equal to K Q1 Q2 by R square, where R is the distance between Q1 and Q2. Electric field intensity can be written as electric field intensity basically depends on location only, so it will involve only one charge, so E will be written as K Q. For Q1 it will be Q1 by R square, for Q2 it will be K Q2 by R square. Okay, now for potential, as we defined potential as a total energy per unit charge, so we can write it as potential is also denoted with the help of V, or it can be measured in volts, so we can use it like this. It will be K Q by R. Energy, potential energy can be written as K Q1 Q2 by R. Okay, finally energy density. Energy density is the total energy contained per unit volume. So we will see all these, we have seen already the force intensity. In this lecture we will see potential, and finally we will see energy density also. So here in this we can see that electric potential is electric potential for positively charged body is a positive, however for negatively charged body is a negative. Electric potential basically is a scalar quantity, so it can add it algebraically. As a definition of it, we can say that electric potential at a point is equal to the electric potential energy, which can be measured in joules of any charged particle at that location, divided by the charge unit of charge is coulombs of the particle. So we can write it, the unit of electric potential can be written as a joule per coulomb, or alternatively we can write it collectively as a volts. So this joule per coulomb can written as volt also. Electric potential can be measured with the help of voltmeter, and in circuit voltmeter is always connected in parallel across the point between which the potential difference is to be measured. Further, in electrostat we have seen, we have read two Maxwell equation. Maxwell's there are total 4 Maxwell equations, out of which 2 are coming from electrostat and 2 are coming from magnetostat. Further, some modification is also happening in it due to time varying electro EM waves, EM field, but right now as we are studying static EM wave, that is electrostat. So from electrostat we are having two Maxwell equation. So first one is coming from the Gauss law. We know that Gauss law states that total flux coming out from a closed surface is equal to total charge enclosed. Here you can say we can see that d dot ds is equal to q enclosed, and q enclosed can be written like this also, rho v dv, volume integral of rho v dv, where rho v is the charge density and dv is the differential volume. Now this side, this is a surface integral, however in the right side it is a volume integral. So in order to match we need to apply the divergence theorem. Divergence theorem states that any surface integral can be converted into volume integral with the help of divergences. So how to convert it? So well, applying divergence theorem, we can get del dot D. This is the divergence of electric flux density. Now, if we will take the divergence of electric flux density, here ds will be changed from it will change from ds to dv, and this surface integral will change into volume integral. So, we will write v here. Now, this will be equal to volume integral of rho v dv. Now, we can see that in both sides, after comparing both sides, that is LHS left hand side to right hand side, we can see that both the volume will cancel out, and both the side we are having volume integral. So, we can write del dot D is equal to rho v. Okay. So, this is the Maxwell first equation in integral form, and this is the Maxwell first equation in differential form. The differential form is also known as, this is the Maxwell's first equation in differential form. It is also known as point form. And this is the integral form. According to this, it states that a total flux is what? Flux is nothing but the line of force. Suppose here Q will kept, then there will be a rays, there will be a line of electric line of force which will coming out from a positive charge. If we will place this charge inside a closed surface S, then the total flux, total lines of field line crossing perpendicularly to this surface is known as a flux. And according to Gauss law, it tells that total flux is equal to total charge placed in this. This is the physical interpretation of Gauss law or Maxwell first equation. It relates the electric field and the charge which is producing it. We can write it in electric field form also, because we know that D is equal to epsilon E. So, in spite of D dot ds, we can write epsilon E dot D, E dot ds. From that equation, we will see that, as for example, we can write it as epsilon E dot ds is equal to Q enclosed surface integral. From this equation, this is the Gauss equation. From this equation, electric field is related to the charge which is producing it. So, in this way, electric field is basically produced with the help of charge only, and in this way, with this equation, both the charge and electric field are related. Next equation in electrostat is E dot dl is equal to 0, or it is got derived from V is equal to minus del E. E is equal to minus del V. We can find the value of electric field in three ways. The first way is just to apply Coulomb's law, which is applicable for any kind of charge configuration. Second option is to apply Gauss law, which can be applicable only for the symmetrical charge configuration, and third is to apply the gradient of to solve this equation, which is a according to this we can see that electric field is nothing but the negative gradient of electric potential. This method is easier than the previous one, that is Coulomb's law and Gauss law. Why? Because V is a scalar quantity, so handling scalar quantity is far easier than handling differentiation and integration, which is used in Gauss law and Coulomb's law. So based on this, finally we got the value of E dot dl is equal to 0. If we apply Stokes theorem here, then what will happen? Stokes theorem generally transform line integral into Stokes theorem basically change line integral into surface integral. So for that we need to use curl del cross E will be equal to, here it will be dl will be changed to ds and it will be changed to s will be equal to 0. So this implies that del cross E is equal to 0. It shows that the electric field is irrotational because curl is 0 and 0 curl means that the field can't rotate. So electric field is irrotational as well as conservative in nature. So these are the two equations. One is, this is the Maxwell second equation, this is the Maxwell second equation from electrostat. This is the point form or differential form, however this is the integral form, this is the integral form. Because here del operator is a differential vector operator, so as this equation involves vector differential operator del, so it is known as differential equation. However this equation is having integration, so it is known as integral form. So these are the two Maxwell equation. Further we will see energy density in electrostatic field. Well, energy density is the total energy contained in a system divided by total volume. So suppose these are the three charges Q1, Q2, Q3 which are placed at point P1, P2, P3 from infinite distance. So in order to find the energy density, first of all we need to find the total work done in positioning all the three charges. So we will see what are the work done in order to place Q1 from infinity to point P1, because previously this point is empty, this system is empty, there is no charge. So if we will bring Q1 from infinity to P1, then no work will be no work will be done, because 0 work will be done, because as no charge is placed here from previous no charge is there, so no, there won't be any electric field, so there won't be any force, so work will be also 0. That's why in bringing Q1 from infinity to P1, 0 work is done. Secondly, now we have to take Q2 from infinity to P2. Now in this case, in this system already at P1 Q1 is placed, so due to this Q1 there will be some electric field in surrounding. In this system there will be electric field due to Q1. So if we will take the Q2 from infinity to P2, then Q2 will experience some kind of force due to Q1 which is present there from previously. Now this total work will be equal to Q2 multiplied by the potential at this point 2 due to the Q1 charge placed at P1. So total work done will be equal to, we know that the potential is nothing but the total work done per unit charge or total energy per unit charge. So with the help of this we can find the value of work also by multiplying potential and charge. So in order to take the Q2 from infinity to P2, we need to work Q2 multiplied by V2 1, where Q2 is the charge to whom we need to place, and V21 is the potential at point 2 due to charge at point 1. Similarly, now here in this system two charges P1, two charges Q1 and Q2 are placed at P1 and P2. So if we will bring Q3 from infinity to P3, then Q3 will experience two forces. One force is by Q1 and another force is Q2. So two work will be applicable here. So Q3 total work done in bringing Q3 from infinity to P3 will be equal to Q3 multiplied by potential at 3 due to Q1 and potential at V3 potential at P3 due to charge Q2. So total potential at P3 will be equal to V31 plus V32. V31 is the potential at point 3 due to 1 Q1 and V32 is the potential at 3 due to Q2 due to the charge Q2. Now if the charges were positioned in reverse order, then what will happen? So again let us bring all the charge here, and now in this time we will place all the charge in reverse, the reverse way. Then first of all we will place Q3 at P3, then what will happen? The total work done will be 0. Next time we will place Q2 from infinity to P2, then what will happen? Previously there were Q3, so in that case Q2 will have a potential, means P2 will have potential due to Q3, that is a V23. So total work done in bringing Q2 from infinity to P2 will be equal to Q2 multiplied by V23. Similarly, if we will bring Q3 from infinity to Q1 from infinity to P1, then two potential will be applicable on Q1, that is a V12 and V13. V12 is the potential at point 1 due to Q2 and V13 is the potential at point 1 due to Q3. Now we can write this as V1 only, total potential at point 1. Similarly we can write other also, but before that let us add these two value, then what will happen? This will be 2 VE and here all will be got added up, then what will happen? That it will be 2 VE is equal to 0, 0 will be 0, then V21 Q2 V21 plus Q3 V31 plus V32 plus Q2 V23 plus Q1 V12 plus V13. Now 31 and 32 will collectively can be written as V3. This is the total potential at point 3 due to Q1 and Q2. Similarly, here we can write it as V1. V1 is the total potential, that is V1 is equal to V12 plus V13 means the total potential at point 1 due to Q1 and Q2. Similarly, if we will add these two, then it will be like it will be equal to Q2 V21 plus V23. Collectively we can write it as a V2. This is a total potential at point 2 due to Q1 and Q3. So we can write it as this, where B1 is nothing but the B13 plus B12 and B2 is nothing but the B21 plus B23, B3 is nothing but the B31 plus B32. So here also it is written also B1, B2, B3 are the total potential at point P1, P2, P3 respectively. In general, if there will be n point charges, then this equation can be written as V total is equal to half Qk Bk, where k can vary from 1 to n. Now this is the energy equation for formula for work or energy in general case for a distributed point charge, n number of distributed charge. But if instead of point charges the region has the continuous charge distribution, then this summation can be written as, can be replaced with the help of integration. Well, further, if the charge distribution will be line charge, then we can use the formula this, where we just simply wrote rho L dl in place of q and integrated it over the line, that is a integration L, line integration. Similarly, if it will be charge distribution will be, if there will be surface charge distribution, then we will use rho s ds in place of q and use surface integration. Similarly, for volume charge distribution we will use rho v dv in place of q and integrate it over the volume. This is the example in which it says that the point charges 1 nanocoulomb, 4 nanocoulomb and 3 nanocoulomb are located at 000, 001 and 100 respectively. Find the energy in the system. So in order to solve such kind of problem, first of all we will draw the coordinate system. This is a x, y and this is a z. First of all we will locate all the charge. As for example, first charge is at 000, so 1 nanocoulomb will be here. Then second charge 4 nanocoulomb is at 001, means z axis here it will be somewhere, this is a 4 nanocoulomb, and 3 nanocoulomb is located at 100, it means it is located at 3 nanocoulomb is located at here. After indicating all the charges at different places, we will apply the formula, because here we are having 3 charges, all the charges are point charges and it is distributed at different places. So we will apply the formula for distributed charge. So for that we will use this. Now in place of k we will take the 3, then q1 v1, q2 v2, q3 v3. v1 is the total potential at point first point, second point and third point respectively. After putting the value, we can find the value of W total energy as this much. Now this is the second problem in which a point charge of 5 nanocoulomb is located at -340 while line y is equal to 1 and z is equal to 1 carries a uniform charge 2 nanocoulomb per meter. In that case, we need to find potential. Here we are having different kind of charges. So first of all, again we need to draw the diagram. This is x, y and z. In this problem, we are having point charges as well as the line charges. So first of all, after reading the problem, we will see the point charge of 5 nanocoulomb is located at -340. -3 will be somewhere here. So suppose the point 5 nanocoulomb is placed here. While y is equal to 1, y is equal to 1 means this line y is equal to 1 and z is equal to 1 carries uniform. Z is equal to 1 means there are two line charges also which are having the value 2 nanocoulomb. Here it will also have the 2 nanocoulomb. So this is the mixture of different kind of charges. So here we have seen that this is the formula for voltage in case of point charge, and this is the formula for line charge. So we need to use both the formulas. We already have derived the formula for potential and electric field for line charge as well as the point charge in previous classes. So we will use those formula in solving that. So in this lecture we have seen what is the potential, what is the potential energy, and how to find the energy density, and based on that various problem are coming in the exam. So after deriving the formula we can solve this problem, such kind of problem very easily. So this was all about the today's lecture, and we will meet in the next lecture. And in next lecture we will start third unit in which magnetostat is there. So in next class we will start with magnetostat, in which we will study about charge moving with constant velocity.